His hand stopped halfway to her face. Kang Min-jae, Seoul's most feared crime lord, actually stepped back like she'd burned him. Amara's breath caught as she watched the man who'd whispered promises against her skin just 3 hours ago look at her like she was a stranger. "Min-jae?" Her voice cracked. "What's happening? You need to leave." His voice was ice, dead, empty. Her heart slammed against her ribs. "Leave? We just... Heat crawled up her neck. She could still feel where his hands had been, still taste him on her lips. "You said you wanted me. You said..." "I lied." The words hit like a physical blow. Amara's knees weakened and she gripped the marble countertop of his penthouse kitchen. "You're lying now. I felt you. You don't fake what we..." "It was just sex, Amara." His dark eyes, the ones that had looked at her like she was his entire world an hour ago, were blank. "You were a virgin. I was curious. Now I'm done." Everything went silent. The city sounds from 40 floors below disappeared. Her own heartbeat vanished. "Done?" she whispered. "I'm engaged," he said flatly. "Have been for 6 months. Park Ji-won, Korean, pure bloodline, appropriate." His jaw tightened. "You were a distraction, a good one, but that's over now." Her vision blurred. No, you're lying. Your scars, you let me see them. You told me about your mother." "Information is currency, sweetheart. I gave you just enough to get what I wanted." He turned away from her, straightening his black shirt with steady hands. Like this meant nothing. Like she meant nothing. "Seo-jun will drive you home. Don't come to therapy tomorrow. You're fired." 3 months earlier. "Girl, you're telling me you're going to some billionaire's private penthouse? Alone?" Amara adjusted her phone, wedging it between her shoulder and ear as she checked her physical therapy bag for the 3rd time. Her best friend Zara's voice crackled with concern through the speaker. "He's not a billionaire, he's a businessman." Amara zipped the bag shut. "And it's not like that. He was in a car accident. Shattered his shoulder and ribs. His regular therapist is on maternity leave, and Dr. Kim specifically requested me." "Uh-huh. And why does Mr. Mysterious Businessman need house calls?" "Privacy concerns, apparently." Amara glanced at herself in the mirror of her tiny Chicago apartment. She'd moved to Seoul 6 months ago for this job opportunity, and it still felt surreal. Her dark skin glowed against the crisp white of her medical polo. She'd twisted her natural curls into a professional bun. "Look, the money is insane. 6 weeks of this, and I can pay off half my student loans. Just promise me you'll text me every hour, and keep your phone on you, and maybe bring pepper spray." "Z, I'm a licensed physical therapist, not an idiot. Educated women get murdered too, babe." Amara laughed despite herself. "I love you. I gotta go. The car service is here." "That man sent a car service?" "Apparently. Bye." The black Mercedes was ridiculous. Amara felt like she was being transported to a movie set, not a medical appointment. The driver, a stern-faced Korean man who introduced himself only as Seo-jun, drove in complete silence through Seoul's gleaming streets until they reached a high-rise in Gangnam that made her apartment building look like a shed. "Top floor," Seo-jun said, his English heavily accented. "Penthouse. Code is 0613. He is expecting you." "You're not coming up?" "Mr. Kang values privacy." Something in the way he said it made her skin prickle. The elevator ride felt like ascending to another dimension. When the doors opened directly into the penthouse, no hallway, just straight into a massive open-plan living space, Amara's breath caught. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked Seoul. The furniture was minimalist, expensive, and looked like no one had ever actually sat on it. Everything was black, white, or gray, cold, beautiful, intimidating. "You're late." She spun. The voice came from her left, near a kitchen area that probably cost more than her entire education. And then she saw him. Kang Min-jae was not what she expected. Yes, he was Korean. Sharp features, dark eyes, black hair pushed back from his face. but the photos Dr. Kim had shown her hadn't prepared her for the presence of him. He was tall, maybe 6 feet, with broad shoulders currently held at an unnatural angle. His left arm was in a sling. He wore simple black joggers and a white t-shirt that couldn't hide the bandaging beneath. But it was his eyes that stopped her. Dark, assessing, dangerous. "I'm 3 minutes early, actually," Amara said, finding her voice. She was used to difficult patients. "Mr. Kang?" "Just Kang." He moved toward her with a slight limp she noted professionally, compensating for rib injuries. "You're Dr. Kim's replacement." "Amara Johnson. I'm not a doctor. Licensed physical therapist." She set her bag down on a pristine white couch, already cataloging his movement patterns. "Dr. Kim sent me your medical files. Fractured clavicle, 3 broken ribs, soft tissue damage to your left shoulder. You should still be in the hospital." "I don't do hospitals." "So I gathered." She pulled out her tablet. "We'll start with an assessment. I need to see your range of motion, check the healing progress." "You're American." It wasn't a question. Amara looked up. He was closer now, studying her with an intensity that made her want to step back. But she'd learned early in her career not to show weakness. "I am, from Chicago. Moved here 6 months ago." "Why? Why does anyone move across the world? Opportunity, adventure, really good Korean barbecue." She smiled. He didn't. "Can we start the assessment, Mr. Kang?" "Just Kang." "Kang, then. Shirt off, please." For the first time, something flickered in those dead eyes. Amusement. "Forward." Heat crept up her neck. "It's medical. I need to see the injury site." He reached for the hem of his shirt with his good hand, and she moved to help. "Wait, let me. You'll tear the healing tissue if you—" Her fingers brushed his abdomen as she carefully lifted the fabric. His skin was warm, solid, heavily scarred. Her professional assessment stuttered when she saw the extent of the old wounds crisscrossing his torso. Knife wounds, burn marks. These weren't from any car accident. "See something interesting?" His voice was low, close to her ear. She forced herself into clinical mode. "Old scar tissue can affect healing. I'll need to work around it." She stepped back, putting professional distance between them. The fresh bruising across his ribs was extensive, deep purple and yellow spreading from his left side. "This must hurt like hell." "I've had worse." She believed him. "Sit down. Let's test your shoulder mobility." The session lasted 90 minutes. Amara worked carefully, professionally, walking him through gentle movements while taking notes on his pain responses. He barely flinched, even when she knew she was hitting tender spots. His pain tolerance was abnormal. "You're good at this," he said when she finally stepped back. "I better be. I have 6 figures of student debt that says I am." She washed her hands in his kitchen sink, intimidatingly pristine. "We'll need to do this 3 times a week for the next 6 weeks. I'll set up a schedule." "Every day." She turned. "That's not necessary. Your body needs rest between sessions." "Every day," he repeated. "Money isn't an issue. Name your price." "It's not about money. It's about proper healing protocol. $2,000,001 per session." Amara's mouth went dry. That was almost $2,000 per session. "That's insane. That's my offer." He was still shirtless, watching her with those unreadable eyes. "You're good. I don't want to break in someone new, and I heal fast." Something about this felt wrong. Too much money, too much intensity, but $2,000 a day for 6 weeks. That was life-changing money. "Every day," she heard herself say, "but we follow my protocols. I'm the medical professional here." The corner of his mouth twitched. It might have been a smile. "Agreed." 2 weeks later. "He sounds hot." Amara rolled her eyes, adjusting her phone as she prepared a smoothie in her apartment kitchen. Zara's face filled the video call screen, her own dark skin glowing against her pink bonnet. "He's a patient, Z." A patient you see every single day, a patient who pays you insane money, a patient who is, by your own admission, unfairly attractive. I never said that. You said, and I quote, his bone structure is so perfect it's medically fascinating. That's not the same thing, Zara laughed. Girl, you are down so bad. What else? Tell me everything. Amara sighed, leaning against her counter. He's complicated, doesn't talk much, but when he does, he's actually funny, dry sense of humor, and he's getting better. His mobility is improving faster than expected. What does he do? For work? Import-export, he says. But honestly, I don't know. He takes a lot of calls in Korean when I'm there. Always steps into another room. She frowned. There are always men around. Security, I think. And once, I saw what? A gun. In a drawer in his bedroom. I was looking for extra towels. Amara Renee Johnson, get out of there. It's probably legal. South Korea has different laws. He's in the Mafia or something, I'm calling it now. That's ridiculous. This isn't a movie. But even as she said it, Amara thought about the scars, the security, the way people on his staff looked at him. Fear and respect mixed together. The fact that he'd been in a car accident that left injuries consistent with a fight. Just be careful, Zara said softly. I know that money is good, but your life is worth more. I'm always careful. 4 weeks in the shift happened on a Tuesday. Amara arrived at the penthouse with her usual code, letting herself in. Min-jae was in the kitchen, cooking. Actually cooking. The smell hit her first. Spices and sizzling meat. You cook? She set her bag down, surprised. You sound shocked. I just figured you had private chefs or something. I do. I sent them away. He glanced at her. Hungry? I shouldn't. We have a session. After. Eat first. It felt intimate in a way their sessions never had. Sitting at his dining table, turns out he did use the furniture, while he served her bulgogi and rice. The food was incredible. You're really good at this, she said around a mouthful. My mother taught me, before she died. Amara paused. He never talked about personal things. I'm sorry. Don't be, it was a long time ago. His chopsticks moved efficiently. What about you, family? My mom's in Chicago, retired nurse. She thinks I'm crazy for moving here. Are you crazy? Maybe a little. She smiled. But the good kind of crazy, the kind that makes life interesting. His eyes met hers across the table. Something passed between them, something that made her pulse quicken. Your shoulder is healing well, she said quickly, looking away. Professional. Stay professional. Because you're good at your job. And you're a compliant patient, shockingly. I can be compliant when properly motivated. The air felt thick suddenly, charged. Amara stood, grabbing her plate. I should clean up, then we can... Leave it. He stood too, and suddenly the space between them felt too small. Amara. Her name in his mouth sounded different. Careful, weighted. Yes? Why did you really move to Seoul? The question caught her off guard. I told you. Opportunity. The truth. She set the plate down, turning to face him. I needed to start over. I had a relationship back home. Engaged, actually. Found him in bed with my roommate 3 weeks before our wedding. Sold everything. Applied for international positions, and ended up here. He was an idiot. The simple statement made her laugh. Yeah, he really was. His loss. Min-jae stepped closer. My gain. Her breath caught. What? You, here, He stopped, jaw tightening. Nothing. Forget it. Let's start the session. But something had shifted. They both felt it. The sessions got longer, more talking, less therapy. He told her about growing up in Busan, about his father's business, about the weight of expectations. She told him about growing up Black in predominantly white spaces, about fighting for respect in a medical field that didn't always see her competence first. They orbited each other, careful, wanting, neither willing to cross the line. until the night everything changed. 6 weeks. In Amara arrived at 8 p.m. instead of her usual morning slot. Minji had texted, a rarity, asking if she could come late. One final assessment before his official medical discharge. The penthouse was different at night. The city lights turned the floor-to-ceiling windows into a glowing canvas. Minjae was on the balcony, a glass of whiskey in hand. "Hey," she called softly. He turned. Something was different about his expression. Vulnerable. Open. "Thank you. For coming." Of course. She joined him outside, the Seoul night air cool against her skin. "How's the shoulder?" "Perfect. You're a miracle worker." "Just good at my job." "Amara." He set the glass down on the balcony rail. "I need to tell you something." Her heart kicked. "Okay. I'm not a good man. The things I do, the life I live, it's dangerous. Dark. You deserve better than that." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying..." He turned to face her fully. "I'm saying that for 6 weeks, you've been the best part of my day, the only honest thing in my life, and it's killing me that tomorrow you walk out of here and I never see you again." Amara's breath shook. "Minjae. Tell me you don't feel this." His hand came up, hovering near her face but not touching. "Tell me I'm imagining it." "I can't." "Can't tell me or can't pretend?" "Both." He moved then, one hand cupping her face, the other sliding around her waist, pulling her close. "If I kiss you right now, everything changes. You understand that?" "I understand." "You should run. Get as far from me as possible." "I know." "But you're not going to." "No." His lips met hers, and the world tilted. The kiss was soft at first, questioning, then deeper, hungry. His hand tangled in her hair, pulling the professional bun loose. Her curls spilled free, and he groaned against her mouth. "Amara," he breathed, "tell me to stop." "Don't stop. Please don't stop." They barely made it inside, clothes scattered between the balcony and his bedroom. His hands were everywhere, reverent and desperate. When he laid her on his bed, he paused, looking down at her like she was something precious. "You're sure?" "I've never been more sure of anything. I'll be gentle. I trust you." And she did, completely. As he mapped every inch of her body with his hands and mouth, as he whispered in Korean against her skin, words she didn't understand but felt in her soul, as he made love to her with a tenderness that made her cry, she trusted him. "You're mine now," he said afterward, holding her against his chest, their heartbeats sinking. "You understand? Mine." "Yours," she agreed, sleep pulling at her. She woke 3 hours later to find the bed empty and cold. Present day. Amara stumbled out of Minjae's building in a daze. The doorman avoided her eyes. Did he know? Did everyone know? She'd been a joke, a game. The cab ride to her apartment passed in a blur. Once inside, she made it to the bathroom before the sobs came. Violent, body-shaking cries that left her gasping. She could still feel him, still smell his cologne on her skin. Her phone buzzed. Zara. "Hey girl, how's your hot patient, Amara? What's wrong?" The story poured out, every painful detail. "I'm getting on a plane right now," Zara said immediately. "No, don't. I need to process." "Did he hurt you? Like physically hurt you?" "No, just everywhere else." "That fucking bastard. I will fly to Seoul and castrate him with a rusty spoon." Despite everything, Amara almost laughed. What do you need? Tell me what you need and I'll make it happen." "I don't know. I don't know anything right now." They talked for another hour. When Amara finally hung up, she felt hollow, empty. She drew a bath, scalding hot, and scrubbed her skin until it hurt, trying to erase his touch. It didn't work. Sleep didn't come. At 4 a.m., she finally gave up and made coffee. Her phone sat on the counter, silent. No calls, no texts. Not that she expected any. The next day, Amara called in sick to work. She couldn't face Dr. Kim's questions, couldn't pretend to be professional and whole when she was shattered. The knock on her door at noon startled her. "Who is it?" Seo Jun, Minjai's driver. Her heart lurched painfully. She opened the door. Seo Jun stood there holding a large envelope. His expression was unreadable. "From Mr. Kang." "I don't want anything from him. Please, take." He pressed it into her hands and left before she could argue. Inside was a check. 50 million won, almost $40,000, and a note in sharp, masculine handwriting. "For your services, consider our contract fulfilled. Don't contact me again. K Services," like she was a prostitute. Amara ripped the check in half, then quarters, then confetti. She threw it out her window, watching the pieces scatter in the soul wind. 2 weeks later, "You look like death," Zara said bluntly. She'd flown in anyway, despite Amara's protests. Now they sat in a cafe near Amara's apartment, expensive lattes going cold between them. "Thanks. That's exactly what I needed to hear." "I'm serious. Have you eaten anything besides ramyeon this week?" "Ramyeon is delicious." "Ramyeon is 30-cent noodles. You're depressed." "I'm not." Amara sighed. "Okay, maybe I am." "Have you thought about going home? Chicago?" "That feels like giving up." "It's not giving up, it's protecting yourself." "I built a life here, Z. I have patients who need me. Dr. Kim relies on me. I can't just run because one man who broke your heart and took your virginity and then called you a distraction." The word still stung. "Yeah, that one." Zara reached across the table, grabbing Amara's hand. "Listen to me. You are the smartest, strongest, most incredible woman I know. You will get through this. But you gotta let yourself feel it. Cry, scream, break shit. Whatever you need." "I can't afford to break shit. My apartment is tiny." "Then we'll break his shit." That did make Amara laugh. "You're insane." "You love me for it." "I really do." 3 days later, Dr. Kim called her into his office. Amara's stomach dropped. Did he know? Had Min-jae complained? Sit, Dr. Kim said warmly. He was in his 60s, kind-faced, one of the few people who'd given her a chance in Seoul. "How are you, Amara?" "Fine. Good. Busy." "I received a call from Kang Min-jae." Her blood turned to ice. "He was very complimentary of your work, said your treatment was exceptional. He's made a substantial donation to our clinic. 500 million won. $500,000. What? "I know, it's extraordinary. He's also requested that we never send you to him again. He said his injuries are fully healed, and he'd prefer to work with male therapists if needed in the future." The room spun. "Are you all right? You look pale." "I'm fine. That's just surprising." "Well, thanks to him, we can expand the clinic, hire more staff. You'll be getting a significant bonus, of course. You deserve it." Blood money. That's what it was. Payment for her silence, her absence, her pain. "Thank you, Dr. Kim." She left his office and barely made it to the bathroom before throwing up. 1 month later, Amara fell into a routine. Work, home, sleep, repeat. She avoided Gangnam entirely, taking longer routes to avoid any chance of seeing that building, that penthouse, him. Zara had stayed for 2 weeks before flying back to Chicago, making Amara promise to call every day. She did. It helped. What didn't help was the dreams. Every night she felt his hands, heard his voice, woke up reaching for someone who wasn't there. "You need to get back out there," Zara said during their nightly call. "Meet someone. Move on." "It's been a month." "Exactly. A month of moping. I love you, but this isn't healthy." "I'm not moping. You've watched Crash Landing on you 6 times. You're moping." Amara sighed. "I don't want to meet anyone. I want to not feel like this anymore." "Then you got to do something different. Change your routine. Try new things. Anything." So she did. She joined a gym, started taking Korean language classes. Her conversational skills were decent, but she wanted fluency, made friends with other expats. and slowly, painfully, the sharp edges of her grief dulled to a constant ache. 6 weeks later, the bar was called Eclipse. Zara had insisted Amara needed a girls' night out, which somehow translated to Amara going out with her co-worker Michelle and Michelle's girlfriend Jun-hee. "You look hot," Michelle said approvingly. She was Australian, blonde, loud. "Seriously, that dress is killer." Amara glanced down at herself. The red dress had been an impulse buy. Tight, short, definitely not her usual style. "I feel ridiculous." "You look expensive," Jun-hee corrected. "We're going to have men falling over themselves." "I don't want men falling over anything." "Too bad. Tonight is about fun. Dancing. Maybe some making out with strangers. You're allowed to move on." The club was packed. Pulsing music, strobing lights, bodies pressed together. They found a spot at the bar, and Michelle immediately ordered shots. "To new beginnings," she shouted over the music. "To new beginnings," Amara echoed, throwing back the shot. It burned. They danced. Amara let the music take over, let herself feel something other than pain. A guy approached. Tall, decent-looking, friendly smile. They danced together. He was respectful, nice. Everything Min-jae wasn't. And she felt absolutely nothing. She excused herself, heading to the bathroom. The hallway was quieter, cooler. She leaned against the wall, catching her breath. That's when she saw him, Kang Min-jae, standing near the VIP section entrance, surrounded by men in expensive suits, and next to him, a woman, Korean, beautiful, delicate. She touched his arm possessively, Park Ji-won, his fiancé. Amara's heart stopped, then kicked into overdrive. She needed to leave, now. Before he saw, his eyes found hers across the space. Everything went silent. The music, the crowd, all of it disappeared. Those dark eyes widened, shock, pain, something else she couldn't name. Then his expression shuddered, cold, empty. He turned back to the woman, said something that made her laugh. Amara ran. She made it outside before the tears came, gasping sobs that hurt her chest. Michelle found her minutes later. "Whoa, hey, what happened?" "I need to go home." "Did someone hurt you?" "Did that guy—" "No, I just need to leave, please." Michelle didn't argue. She called a cab, rode with Amara back to her apartment, made sure she got inside safely. "You gonna be okay?" "Yeah, thanks, Michelle." Alone again, Amara stripped off the red dress and threw it in the trash. She never wanted to see it again. The next morning. The pounding on her door woke her. Amara groaned, checking her phone. 6 a.m. Who the hell? "Amara, open up!" That voice. No, 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 no. She stumbled to the door, yanking it open. "What the fuck are you doing here?" Min-jae stood there, looking like he hadn't slept. His hair was disheveled, his eyes wild. "You were at Eclipse last night." So? He pushed past her into the apartment. "You were dancing with some asshole wearing a dress that—" He stopped himself. "What were you doing there?" "Living my life, which is none of your business." Amara crossed her arms over her sleep shirt. "You need to leave." "Who was he?" "Are you serious right now?" "The guy, who was he?" "A stranger. A nice, normal stranger who doesn't lie and manipulate and—" Her voice broke. "Get out. Amara, you have a fiancé. You're engaged. You called me a distraction, paid me off like a prostitute, and told me to never contact you again. So why the hell are you in my apartment?" "Because I can't stop thinking about you." The words exploded out of him. "I can't sleep, can't focus. Everything reminds me of you, your laugh, your voice. The way you looked at me like I was more than—" He dragged a hand through his hair. "Fuck, this was a mistake." "Then leave." He didn't move. "Leave." She shoved at his chest. "Go back to your perfect Korean fiancé with her pure bloodline and appropriate everything. Forget about the black American girl you screwed for fun." He grabbed her wrists. "It wasn't fun. It was everything." Amara's breath caught. "You were everything," he said roughly. "And that's why I pushed you away. Because my world, the things I'm involved in, it's dangerous. People die, Amara. People I care about become targets. I couldn't let that happen to you. That's not your choice to make. I know, and I'm sorry. I'm so fucking sorry. His grip loosened, his thumb stroking her wrists. But seeing you last night, with him, You have no right to be jealous. I know. You broke me. I know. His voice cracked. I know, and I hate myself for it. But please let me explain. Let me tell you the truth. Amara wanted to say no, wanted to throw him out and lock the door and never see him again, but she'd always been too curious for her own good. You have 10 minutes. They sat on her tiny couch. He stayed on the opposite end, maintaining distance. The engagement isn't real, he started. It's a business arrangement. Park Ji-won's father runs the largest real estate development company in Seoul. My father, before he died, promised me to her as part of a merger deal. Arranged marriage? In 2025? In my world, yes. It happens. He leaned forward, elbows on knees. I never wanted it. Ji-won doesn't either. She has a girlfriend. We've been pretending for the families, for the business. And you couldn't tell me this? I intended to. That night, I was going to. But then, he closed his eyes. My second-in-command, Tae-min, warned me that the Jang family was asking questions about you. They're rivals. If they knew you mattered to me, they would have used you, hurt you to get to me. Amara's skin prickled. The Jang family? Another crime organization. There it was, confirmation of what she'd suspected. You're in the Mafia. We don't call it that. But yes, my father built an empire. Legitimate businesses on the surface, less legitimate underneath. When he died 2 years ago, I inherited everything, including the scars. He nodded, including the scars. Silence stretched between them. So you pushed me away to protect me, Amara said slowly, by crushing me, by making me feel like I was nothing. I thought if you hated me, you'd stay away. You'd be safe. How'd that work out? He laughed bitterly. Clearly not well. I'm here, aren't I? You are. And I still don't understand why. Because I love you. The words were simple, direct. I'm in love with you, Amara Johnson. Have been since you bossed me around in our second session. Maybe before, and I tried. I really tried to let you go. But I can't. I'm not that strong. Her heart hammered. You love me. Desperately. You have a really fucked up way of showing it. I know. You hurt me. Really hurt me. I know. And I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you if you let me. But I understand if you can't. If this is too much. If I'm too much. He stood, heading for the door. I just needed you to know the truth. That it wasn't a game. That you weren't a distraction. You were our everything. He reached for the door handle. Wait. He froze. Amara stood on shaky legs. If I give you another chance, and that's a massive if, things have to be different. No more lies, no more pushing me away for my own good. You don't get to make decisions about my safety without me. He turned. Hope flickered in his eyes. Okay. And I need time. You destroyed me, Min-jae. I'm not just going to fall back into your arms. I'll wait, however long it takes. Your fiancé? I'm ending the arrangement. I don't care what it costs. I want you. Only you. You say that now. I'll prove it. Every day. Whatever you need. Amara's eyes burned with unshed tears. Why do I want to believe you? Because it's the truth. He crossed the space between them, cupping her face gently. I love you. Let me prove it. This time when he kissed her, it tasted like salt and hope and second chances. 2 days later, Min-jae wasn't kidding about proving himself. Flowers arrived at her apartment every morning. Not generic roses, thoughtful bouquets with handwritten notes. These reminded me of your laugh. Yellow for sunshine, like you. He showed up at her clinic at lunch with her favorite food. Never stayed long, never pressured, just making sure she ate. He texted throughout the day, Random thoughts, terrible jokes, pictures of Seoul sunsets with captions like, "Not as beautiful as you." It was overwhelming, intense, very him. "So the Mafia boss is romancing you," Michelle said during their break. "That's not a sentence I expected to say. He's not technically—" Amara sighed. "Okay, yes, that's basically accurate. And you're letting him? I don't know, maybe?" She rubbed her temples. "Is this insane? Probably, but also kind of romantic, in a dangerous, potentially deadly way. You're not helping. Do you love him?" The question stopped her. Did she? She'd been infatuated, definitely. Hurt by him, absolutely. But love? "I don't know," she admitted. "I think I could. If he doesn't break me again. Then give him a real chance, but keep your guard up." 1 week later, Min-jae invited her to dinner, his place. "I'm cooking," he said over the phone. "No pressure, just let me make you a meal. We'll talk, that's it." Amara almost said no, but curiosity won. Again, the penthouse looked the same, but different, warmer somehow. There were flowers on the counter, fresh ones in a vase. Music played softly, something jazzy. "You came," he said, relief obvious. "I'm here. That's not the same as staying." "Fair." He gestured to the kitchen. "I'm making bulgogi, and that stew you mentioned liking. Kimchi jjigae?" "You remembered." "I remember everything about you." The cooking process was oddly domestic. He worked efficiently while she sat at the counter with a glass of wine, watching. They talked about nothing, everything. Her job, his businesses, the legitimate ones. She told him about Zara, about Chicago. He told her about his younger sister who lived in New York studying art. "You have a sister?" "Half-sister, technically. Different mothers. She doesn't know about the family business. I want to keep it that way." "Does she know about me?" "She knows I'm in love with someone. She's been harassing me for details." The casual way he said, "in love," made her pulse skip. Dinner was delicious. They ate at the table again, and the memory of their first meal together hung between them. "That day," Min-jae said softly, "when I told you about my mother, that was real. Everything I shared with you was real. Even when you said I was just a distraction, that was the only lie, and it killed me to say it." Amara set down her chopsticks. "I need you to understand something. I'm not fragile. I'm not some delicate thing that needs protecting. I'm a black woman who grew up in South Chicago. I know how to handle myself." "I know that." "Then stop trying to protect me from your world. If we're going to do this, and I'm still not sure we are, I need to know everything. The truth, the danger, all of it." He studied her for a long moment. "Okay, what do you want to know?" "Everything." So he told her about the organization his father built, the legitimate businesses, imports, exports, real estate, the illegitimate ones, gambling, protection, information brokering, the rival families, the violence he'd both witnessed and committed, the weight of leading men who depended on him, the constant threat assessment of his life. "I've killed people," he said flatly, "to protect my family, my people. I'm not a good man, Amara. Maybe not by conventional standards, but you were good to me until you weren't. That won't happen again, I swear it." "How can you promise that?" "Because I'm choosing you over safety, over strategy, over everything my father taught me about keeping people at arm's length. I'm all in." The words hung in the air. "I need time," Amara said finally. "This is a lot. Your world is so far from mine. Take all the time you need. I'm not going anywhere." 3 days later, Amara was walking home from the clinic when the black van pulled up beside her. The door slid open and hands grabbed her, yanking her inside. She screamed, fighting, but there were too many of them. A cloth covered her face. Chemical smell, sweet. Her vision blurred, then nothing. She woke with a splitting headache. The room was dark, cold concrete. Her hands were zip-tied behind her back. Fear clawed at her throat. She's awake. A light flicked on, blinding. Amara blinked, trying to focus. 3 men stood in front of her. Korean, well-dressed, dangerous. "Amara Johnson," one of them said in accented English. "Kang Min-jae's woman. I'm not—" "Don't lie, we've been watching. He visits you, sends you gifts, looks at you like you're his entire world." The man smiled. It was cold. "Your leverage." Oh God, this was exactly what Min-jae had warned about. "He won't negotiate for me. We're not together." "Then you're useless, and we'll kill you." The man pulled out a knife. "Or you can be useful. Call him, bring him here. We'll make it quick for both of you." "Go to hell." The knife moved fast. Pain seared across her upper arm. Amara bit back a scream. "That was shallow. The next one won't be. Call him." Her mind raced. If she called Min-jae, they'd kill him. If she didn't, they'd kill her anyway. There was no winning. Unless— "My phone's in my pocket. I can't reach it with my hands tied." The man gestured. Another one approached, digging into her jacket pocket. He pulled out her phone, unlocked it. She'd never been so grateful for face recognition. "Call him." He held the phone to her ear. It rang once, twice. Then, "Amara? Is everything okay?" Even through the fear, his voice steadied her. "I'm fine," she said carefully. "Just calling to say I can't make our 7 p.m. plans. Something came up at work. Dr. Kim needs me to handle an emergency at the Jongno facility." Silence. Then, "I understand. Do you need anything?" "No, just wanted to let you know. I'll call you later." "Amara." The man ended the call. "What the fuck was that?" "You wanted me to call him. I did." "You didn't tell him anything." "Because I'm not an idiot. You think he wouldn't have heard I was in trouble? He'd have come alone and gotten killed. This way he just thinks I'm busy." The men exchanged looks, unsure. Amara prayed Min-jae understood. There were no 7 p.m. plans. Dr. Kim didn't have a Jongno facility. It was all code. Please, God, let him understand. Min-jae's POV. The moment Amara said Jongno facility, Min-jae's blood turned to ice. There was no Jongno facility. He'd memorized every detail of her life, her work. This was a message. He had Seo Jun trace the call. 15 minutes later, they had a location, warehouse district, Yang family territory. "How many men?" Min-jae asked, loading his gun. "Thermal shows 3 inside, plus her." Only 3. They were underestimating him. Mistake. "Taemin, you take the south entrance. Seo Jun, north. I'm going through the roof." "Boss, we should wait for backup." "She's been in there for over an hour. We go now." Amara's POV. They'd moved her to a different room, still tied up but alone now. The men were arguing in the next room. She could hear them through the thin walls. Korean was fast, angry. She caught words here and there. Her language classes were paying off in the worst way. "Killer. Wait. Kang will come." The lights went out. Shouts. Gunfire. Amara's heart slammed into her throat. More shots, a scream, then silence. The door to her room opened. A silhouette. Tall. Familiar. "Amara." "Min-jae?" He crossed the space in 2 strides, knife out, cutting her zip ties. His hands ran over her, checking for injuries. He found the cut on her arm, and his entire body went rigid. "Who did this?" "I'm okay. We need to leave." Who did this? She'd never heard that tone from him. Pure rage. Deadly. "The one in charge, I don't know his name. Min-jae, please, let's just go." "Stay here." He pressed a gun into her hands. "Anyone comes through that door who isn't me or my men, shoot them." Wait. But he was gone. More gunfire. A scream, then silence. Minutes later, Min-jae returned. Blood splattered his shirt. Not his blood. "It's done. Let's go." The drive back to his penthouse passed in a blur. Amara's hands shook. She couldn't stop them. Min-jae kept one hand on her knee the entire time, grounding her. Inside, he immediately led her to his bathroom, the massive shower. He turned on the water, steam filling the space. "You're in shock. You need to warm up." "I'm fine." "You're shaking." He was right. Her whole body trembled. I was so scared. I know, baby. It's over now. He helped her out of her clothes with clinical efficiency. His own followed. Then he stepped into the shower with her, pulling her against his chest. The hot water poured over them. Amara buried her face in his shoulder and finally let herself cry. Huge, gasping sobs. He held her through it, murmuring in Korean, comforting sounds even if she didn't understand the words. When the water started to cool, he turned it off, wrapped her in the softest towel she'd ever felt, dried her carefully, found her one of his shirts to wear. In his bed, their bed, he pulled her close. "I'm sorry," he said roughly. "This is my fault. I should have protected you better." "Don't." She pressed a finger to his lips. "You warned me. I chose to stay anyway. You almost died because of me. But I didn't. You saved me. You understood my message and came. I'll always come for you. Always." He kissed her forehead. "The Jang family is dealt with. They won't touch you again. No one will. I'm making it known. You're under my protection. Officially." "What does that mean?" "It means anyone who hurts you dies. Simply." The words should have scared her. Instead, she felt safe. "You killed them, didn't you? The men who took me?" "Yes." "I should be horrified. Are you?" She thought about it. Really thought. "No. They were going to kill me. Kill you. They deserved it. You're taking this remarkably well. I'm still processing. Ask me again tomorrow." She paused. "Min-jae? Yeah? I love you too." She felt him stop breathing. "What?" "I love you. I fought it. Tried to hate you. But I can't. I love you. Even though your world is dangerous and you're a criminal, and this is probably the worst decision I've ever made. I love you." He rolled, pinning her gently beneath him. His eyes were wet. "Say it again. I love you. Again. I love you, Kang Min-jae." He kissed her, deep and desperate and full of promise. "Marry me." Amara laughed against his mouth. "You're insane. Marry me. I'll end the arrangement with Jiwon tomorrow. We'll do it right. Whatever you want. Church, courthouse, traditional Korean ceremony. I don't care. Just marry me. We've known each other for 2 months. I don't need more time. I know. Your family will accept it or lose me. I'm choosing you. Always you. You're serious. Completely." He reached over to his nightstand, pulled out a small box. "I bought this 3 weeks ago, been carrying it everywhere." Inside was a ring. Not massive or ostentatious. A simple platinum band with a single diamond. Elegant. Perfect. "How did you know my size?" "I know everything about you." He pulled the ring out. "Amara Johnson, will you marry me? Will you take on my dangerous world and my damaged soul and let me spend the rest of my life proving I'm worth it?" She should say no, should be smart, careful. "Yes." His smile was blinding. He slid the ring on her finger. Perfect fit. Of course. Then he was kissing her again, and clothes were disappearing, and he was loving her slowly, thoroughly, murmuring promises in Korean against her skin. Afterward, tangled together, he translated. "I said you're my heart, my light, my everything. I said I'll protect you with my life. I'll love you until I stop breathing. I said you're home." Amara's eyes welled. "I like that last one. You're my home, too." The next morning, Min-jae kept his promise. He called Park Ji-won, put it on speaker so Amara could hear. "I'm ending the arrangement," he said simply. "Oh, thank God." Ji-won sounded relieved. "I've been trying to figure out how to tell you I want to do the same. My girlfriend proposed last night." "Congratulations." "You too. I heard about the woman, the American therapist. I hope she knows how lucky she is." "I'm the lucky one." After he hung up, Min-jae made another call. His sister. "Appa. Finally, tell me about her." "Her name is Amara. She's a physical therapist from Chicago. Beautiful, smart, stronger than anyone I've ever met." His hand found Amara's. and she just agreed to marry me." His sister's squeal probably broke sound barriers. 2 months later. The wedding was small, intimate. Amara's mother flew in from Chicago. Zara was maid of honor. Min Jae's sister, Ha-yoon, cried through the entire ceremony. Seo-jun and Tae-min stood as groomsmen, looking uncomfortable in suits. They did a fusion ceremony, traditional Korean elements mixed with Western. Amara wore a modified hanbok for the Korean portion, deep burgundy with gold embroidery, then changed into a simple white dress for their vows. "I promise to trust you," Min Jae said, his voice thick, "to let you into the dark parts of my world and my heart, to protect you without smothering you, to love you loudly and completely. You're my redemption, Amara, my second chance." "I promise to see you," Amara said, "not just the dangerous parts or the beautiful parts, but all of you, to challenge you when you're wrong, to stand beside you when you're right, to love you through the scary parts and the soft parts. You're my adventure, Min Jae, my forever." There wasn't a dry eye in the room. The reception was held at a private restaurant. Zara gave a toast that had everyone laughing and crying. When Amara told me she was moving to Seoul, I thought she was running away. Turns out she was running toward this man who looks at her like she hung the moon, toward a love that's probably too dramatic for real life, but somehow works, toward her happy ending. She raised her glass. "To Amara and Min Jae, may your love story be less traumatic from here on out." "To Amara and Min Jae," everyone echoed. Later, Amara found herself on the restaurant's balcony. The Seoul skyline glittered. 6 months ago, she'd been broken, lost, alone. "Hey," Min Jae wrapped his arms around her from behind. "What are you thinking?" "That I'm happy, really, genuinely happy." "Good. That's my only job now. Keeping you happy. That and running a criminal empire. Details." He kissed her neck. "Ready to leave? I have plans for you, Mrs. Kang." "Oh, what kind of plans?" "The kind that involve our honeymoon suite, no clothes, and me worshipping every inch of my wife." Heat flooded her. "That sounds acceptable." "Just acceptable. Okay, it sounds amazing. Let's go." 6 months later, Amara stared at the pregnancy test. 3 lines. Positive. Her hands shook as she set it down. They'd talked about kids. Someday. But this was fast. Overwhelming. "Amara!" Min Jae called from the bedroom. "You okay in there?" She opened the bathroom door, held up the test. His eyes went wide. "Is that—" "Positive." For a moment, he didn't move. Then he swept her into his arms, spinning her around. "We're having a baby?" "Apparently." "I'm going to be a father." Wonder filled his voice. "We're going to be parents." "Are you happy? We didn't plan this." "Happy? I'm fucking ecstatic." He set her down gently. "Are you happy?" "Terrified. But yes." "So, yes." He dropped to his knees, pressing his face to her still flat stomach. "Hey, in there. This is your dad. Your mom and I can't wait to meet you. You're going to be so loved, so protected, so wanted." Amara's eyes burned. "You're going to be an amazing father. And you're going to be the most incredible mother." He stood, pulling her close. "Thank you for this, for choosing me, for giving me a family. We're partners in everything, in everything." 1 year later, baby Kai was 3 months old and already ruling the household. Min Jae was absolutely wrapped around his tiny fingers. "You're holding him wrong," Amara said, laughing. "I'm holding my son perfectly," Min Jae protested. But he adjusted his grip anyway. Kai gurgled happily. They were in the nursery, a room that had once been Min Jae's home office. Now it was soft colors, plush toys, and a crib that probably cost more than Amara's first car. "I never thought I'd have this," Min Jae said softly. "A family, real happiness, peace. You deserve it. So do you." He looked at her, eyes soft. "I know this year has been hard. New baby, adjusting to my world, dealing with the families. It had been challenging. Learning the politics of his organization, meeting the other families, navigating being a Black woman in spaces that didn't always welcome her. But she'd found her place, earned respect, made friends with other spouses who understood the unique challenges. It's been hard, she agreed, but worth it. You're worth it. This is worth it. She gestured to their life, their home, their son. I love you, Amara Kong. I love you too. Kai started fussing. Amara took him, settling into the nursing chair. Min-jae watched them with such tenderness it made her ache. This was her life now, unexpected, dramatic, sometimes dangerous, but filled with a love so fierce it scared her sometimes. She looked at her husband, her son, her family. No regrets. Present day. So that's the story of how your father and I met, Amara said, closing the photo album. Kai, now 5 years old, looked up at her with his father's dark eyes. Daddy was mean to you first? He was, but he apologized and made it right. And then you got married? Eventually, after some adventures. Dangerous adventures? Min-jae entered the room, scooping Kai up. Age-appropriate adventures. That's the story. I'm going to marry someone I have adventures with, too, Kai declared. Let's maybe wait until you're at least 6 for that decision, Amara said dryly. Later, after Kai was in bed, Min-jae and Amara sat on their balcony, the same balcony where they'd first kissed. The Seoul night was quiet. Do you ever regret it? Min-jae asked. Choosing this life? Never. Do you? Choosing you was the only good decision I ever made. He pulled her close. Everything else was just leading me to you. That's disgustingly romantic. You love it? I really do. They sat in comfortable silence, watching the city lights, 2 people from different worlds who found each other against all odds, who chose each other every day despite the challenges. It wasn't a perfect love story. It was messy and complicated and sometimes scary, but it was theirs, and that was everything. Epilogue 3 years later. The dinner table was crowded, Amara and Min-jae at the heads, Kai, now 8, next to his baby sister, So-ah, who was 2. Zara and her husband Marcus, they'd married last year, sat on one side, Michelle and Jun-hee on the other. Seo-jun at the far end, still looking uncomfortable at social gatherings. Ha-yoon and her wife video-called from New York, their faces on the tablet propped on the table. To family, Min-jae said, raising his glass. Blood and chosen. To new beginnings, Amara added, and old friends. To love that survives everything, Zara chimed in. To adventures, Kai shouted. Everyone laughed. Glasses clinked. The conversation flowed, multiple languages mixed together. Laughter echoed through the penthouse. Amara looked around the table, at the family she'd built, the life she'd chosen, the love she'd fought for. Min-jae's hand found hers under the table. He squeezed once. I love you. She squeezed back. I love you, too. Outside, Seoul glittered. Inside, they were home. Some love stories start with butterflies and gentle romance. Theirs started with pain and lies and danger. But it became something beautiful, something real, something worth every scar along the way. And that made all the difference. Several years ago, a Black American physical therapist moved to Seoul looking for a fresh start. She found heartbreak, danger, and a love that defied every odd. This is their story. Messy, dramatic, dangerous, and absolutely true. To everyone still searching for their person, sometimes love finds you in the most unexpected places. Sometimes it hurts before it heals. Sometimes the wrong person becomes the right one. Keep searching. Keep hoping. Keep choosing love. The adventure is worth it.